This time I was in the hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. But that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Garita's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy seemed kinda out of place. So he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much, that's all we need to know for now. Huh? I'm not done, there's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer, then we shall see. So the victim came out of the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was an assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. Ha 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 ha. This is no laughing matter. You sure about that? Second time. This time I was in the hallway. Let's talk about that. And what time was that? Oh, well, I don't remember. The reward ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? And I went to Manta room pretty soon after that, and then I came back, and then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 p.m. by that time. You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say congrats. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniforms after all. So you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. Ugh. So I'm sure it's the same guy that was talking with Matt. So which room did the bellboy come out of? The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, all right. Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Let's continue with the testimony, shall we? Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kind of out of place. The only question is, how would I get him not guilty? Because, I mean, I have to get him guilty eventually, but how do I get him not guilty? So what do you mean out of place? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's about to say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of the room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree, that is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Powers' testimony slide or try to pull a fast one? There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really is. There really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service, and there's no reason for them to be empty-handed ever. If you don't have a towel, they bring a towel. Yeah, they take the dirty ones. Fuck off. I mean, if you're bringing food on a tray, you leave the tray in there. Maybe they wanted a pillow fluffed. You're not gonna take anything with you. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth. Are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? Very well, this court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could, amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. Please don't be so quick to judge. Oh, but it's kind of a Powers family thing. Think of every person as a thief. Well, I guess a thief and an assassin are both sneaky and silent. That's not the point, Phoenix. In any case, if that bellboy was the assassin, it would be very bad for us. But he really is the assassin, you know? Yes, but you can't give in yet. If you want to prolong this trial as long as possible, you're going to have to pull some cheap tricks on this one. Can I give him like this profile? No. The way is, yeah, no. Incorrect. Just seeing if I can't get something. Not really too sure. All I can really do is just keep pressing various things. Press this again. This again. So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand, and there was a bottle of juice and wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. If we could come up with some sort of reason as to why he could have been empty-handed, some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. Okay, I know that one then. It would be this. Okay, I needed her to basically say, or him to say that. Okay. Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... So, a baseball has stitches. Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also, I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. There's the crime scene. There's a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corrida's body. The liquid inside the glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right-hand corner here, anyone can clearly see there's a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corrida's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. But you can't prove that Mr. Corrida was already dead at that time. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. He didn't have them? Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. So? All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. His hands were cold. Alright, gotta focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright, that bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So? A football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they're made of leather? Oh. God, it's just... Well, that man received a large roll of cash from the defendant. The defendant's fucking rich. He feels like throwing money away. And then he was leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene next, went to the crime scene. Next, went to the defendant's room. I read next twice. After leaving the crime scene. Yeah, I kind of saw that by accident. Some accident. I'd say you saw too much. And if all of it was suspicious and into high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be a poor underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. Well, I think that is the point. The point is, where did you watch it all from, Mr. Powers? From the door of the bathroom with my left eye, in a sort of sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying. Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. He gave something to the person in the room. What? I said, hold it. Oh, okay. That's better. Ahem. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Okay, I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Ask about the something. He gave something to this person. Yeah. And what is this something? If I remember what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But that implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember? I think it was something kind of small. It's an incredible, crucial piece of information. Please try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk to another point, namely what the bellboy did next. So after he gave the person inside the room the thing, then another guy gets alive. Where'd this bellboy go after he left Mr. Ngard's room? He opened the door to Viola Hall. Went in there, and who knows after that, right? I do. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. Did you say anything strange or suspicious or see anything? Or just out of the ordinary at that time? Oh yeah, I saw that one thing. What? He saw something else? There's this jittery alien with a ray gun. It was watching Juan's door like some sort of stalker. I think we can forget about the alien. Well, Mr. Power's testimony just now was just as vague as his first. It's a little troublesome, isn't it? But I'm sure if you press him enough, something else will become clear. Although this just makes it harder on us, doesn't it? Talk about a lose-lose situation. Is that what you said? Okay. Anything more here? No. Inside. So, who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. I'd like to summarize the testimony up to this point if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yeah, it was just like that. Mr. On guard, is all of this really that important? Mr. Edgeworth. Of course, Your Honor. I think this is the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Huh. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was no. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure it was some kind of wooden statue. A statue? Yeah, it kind of looked like one, I guess. If I saw the actual thing again, I'd probably remember, you know? Looks like this trial to proceed. I'm going to have to come up with whatever this statue thing is and show it to him. You're gonna have to trust your instinct on this one and take a chance, Phoenix. Sounds good. Well, Mr. Powers, let's continue your testimony. What did the bellboy do after that? Back. I think it's gonna be the statue. Like this thing. It's the only statue we have. What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. Well, it was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix. Deep breath. Deep breath. Mr. Powers. There's something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. And that's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt Ungard's mansion. At the defendant's house. What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Joey the killer assassinated one Corrida in this room. And then he stole the wooden bear from the crime scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Ungard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Matt Ungard is the killer's client. Order. Mr. Wright, this is the most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. Oh, yeah. I almost forgot that he knew about it, too. I think it was clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright? There's still a few points left that we have not fully explored yet. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? The person who received the bear? But the problem is, we already know who that is. And it's gonna be, what's his face? I'd say the bear itself would be the best thing. Because there's nothing to question about with Powers. We've already rehashed who received the bear. It has to be the bear itself. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found in Mr. Ungard's mansion. However, Mr. Ungard was arrested at the hotel that night. Oh, that's actually right. He wouldn't have been able to transport it there. Which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. I didn't actually even think of that. I was hoping that it was just like, it looks funny. How do we prove that it was in his room? Yeah, stuff like that. It's not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took this bear to the mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There is no way, time-wise, the defendant to have taken this bear home. Excuse me? You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? Remember, it was clear as day. I remember it clear as day. I remember that what you muttered to yourself at at On Guard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. Can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. The killer and On Guard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at On Guard Mansion as its butler. What a bold move. The bear figurine was brought back to On Guard Mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, On Guard had told him to do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. It's too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I have to try. I have to find something else. What do you do now, Mr. Wright? What do you plan to? I plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Powers' testimony. What? There's still another one. There is indeed, Your Honor, and it's quite a questionable point. What are you trying to pull? Oh well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? His testimony. We still haven't even said the person. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear. I'd say this one. Like his actual testimony, there's nothing we can really question. The problem. Well, we could. He doesn't have a good eye for detail or remembering anything. And that's the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear. Ah. What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, sorry. Actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm, but the arm, it was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear. You've got to be kidding. Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Order. It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that? I've lost count. So the person who took the little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt on Guard is the Nickel Samurai. We've already established that there's an extra costume. Thanks to the defense, we've made it that all the clearer. I think we've heard enough. We know now why this bear figurine was the defendant's mansion. As well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt on Guard. I see no reason for this trial to continue, therefore I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? Bitch, I'll show you. I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? What should I do? Raise an objection! Oh, now since my I swear to God, you piece of shit. There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now, we have these two reasons to believe my client is a client of the assassin. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very figurine was found at the on-guard mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I am saying is it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. I swear to God. The real client? Yes. Tisk, is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the real client of the killer, and therefore the real murderer? I mean, the only other person who could honestly be would be Adrian. Adrian did nothing wrong, though. Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt on guard for the crime. By wearing the spare Nickel Samurai costume. Oh, then the Nickel Samurai's arm that I saw. That could have very well been Miss Andrews. What about Mr. Ungard? If you'd please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. Ungard's mansion. It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in that defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell Ungard did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt onto someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty. It's murder of all things. This to save Maya, this to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Don't stare at me like that. Order! All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor, for the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with this what-if game. Is what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? Yeah, that is true. He's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to Ungard right away. Why did you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all the doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I can't be harsh on her. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, God. No. Don't make me go up against Adrian again. Oh, it's so mean. I hate doing it.